Yuyu is an 8-year-old boy. He lives in Baghdad and is passionate about life and adventure. He keeps trying new things. In most cases, he got into trouble. Even though his brothers forbid him from many of his adventures, he doesn't listen to them. In an adventure during a school trip to the National Zoo, Yuyu decided to step out of the student group on his own because he wants to get into a gorilla cage. Yuyu took a bag of corn with him. He wanted to give the gorilla something to eat. Yuyu approached the gorilla cage. He circled around the large cage, looking for a hole in which he might fit. He kept checking that huge cage. He walked and stared at the giant gorilla from the rear of the bars. It had been a long time since he stood in front of the gorilla until he saw members of the security forces wandering about. Yuyu moved away from them a little and hid behind a large old tree. After the guards left, Yuyu found what he was trying to find. A little door in the back serves to feed the animals. He approached the door slightly and found it closed. It's a small door and it is locked with a heavy padlock. This is strange, Yuyu said. Here, Yuyu knew that his attempts to break into the cage were pointless. He wanted to break the padlock. Then he found this big rock on the ground. He held the bars of the small door with his left hand, and with his right hand he held the rock. He started hitting on the lock, but his attempts were also useless. He looked inside the cage, but the sun was setting, and everything was getting dark. All of a sudden, he heard steps running toward him. He turned around and thought the guards had come back to him. He didn't see anybody. As soon as he turned his face to the cage, he found a really big gorilla staring at him. Yuyu panicked and pulled back a few yards. The rock fell out of his hand and kicked the bag of corn. He saw the bag of corn dropped onto the ground. The gorilla pulled out its hand to pick up the bag, but it couldn't. Fear controlled Yuyu at that time, but his adventurous mind drove him to approach the gorilla. Yuyu took the bag of corn and brought it to the gorilla's side so it could take it. As he approached, the gorilla took Yuyu's bag and hand together.